You have unlocked the hidden level.
What is up, everybody? Welcome to Hidden Level Podcast. I'm one of your hosts, MC Games, and I also have with me today my co-host, Buzz Bigfoot. What's up, dude?
What's up, guys? Welcome.
And our very special guest, Zips Buds.
Howdy.
Guys, just going through the motions as usual. Just want to tell you guys that we are reading all your messages. We're going to save any questions that you have. Be patient. The question and answer section will be at the end of the stream, but ask your questions and we'll save them. Today we're just going to talk about gaming, Twitch-related activities, and of course your favorite topics as well, whatever you guys want us to talk about. So let's get started as usual with the normal stuff. Fuzzles, what you've been streaming, what you've been playing recently?
So I have been tearing up a lot more Terraria, as you guys know.
Mhm.
All right, that's what we do around here, is tear up some Terraria, and make other people look really bad at the game. Okay, that's what we do. No, but on a serious note, more Terraria, doing a very interesting challenge right now, and other than that, oh, and we played some PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds last night.
Yeah, I saw
we did
that.
play a little PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds last night, so that was fun.
How come you played that? Are you still trying to move slightly to PlayerUnknown Battlegrounds, or is what are you doing with Terraria at the moment? Are you?
So I want to bring PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds into the stream schedule.
Okay,
I really do,
okay.
but within those two, I'd say a week and a half that I was playing it, I saw a lot of technical stream issues.
Yeah.
That was again, just as we mentioned before, it really demoralizes you as a streamer midstream when you have technical issues, and it's a mood killer. It's a huge mood killer. So I wanted to, since my stream has been a lot cleaner lately, try to bring back some PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds to see if maybe my PC is kind of smoothed out a little bit, or maybe the new patches of the game have brought more stabilization, something. So we decided to play last night, and it was, I would say, 100% better from where it was last time, but it's obviously still not pristine, but it's still, it was way better. So I actually might be bringing it more into streams here in the future.
Yeah, you never really got to have your break from your main game after you got partnership. You were grinding one game, and then you kind of got a little bit of a break with Skyrim and PlayerUnknown, but I'd say a couple of more weeks or a couple of more months of a break would have done you well, just to freshen you up a little bit. But you had a lot of technical issues.
Yeah.
What's your thoughts on that? Do you still feel like you need a little bit of a detox from Terraria, or are you happy to be back?
No, I'm very happy to be back playing Terraria. Seeing that we got new challenges and new things to do. It is hard to play Terraria at the level that we are right now, take a break, and then come back to that same level. It's very difficult.
Yeah, I was wondering how you get that. How you do.
Yeah, it's tough, but at the same time, no, we definitely have plans here in the near future for some more Terraria playthroughs. So Terraria's gonna stick around for a little bit more, until we find another break, and then we'll probably do some more things. But I do want to incorporate a couple other games into the schedule. What's so funny?
Oh, in the comments they said, there goes his green screen again.
What do you mean there goes his green screen again? Who are we talking about? Me?
Fuzzles doesn't use green screen during podcasts, but I think the green screen is fallen off.
No, it's still there. It's still there.
Did it fall off last time, or did you take it down?
It's never fallen.
Okay, so you took it down last time, was it? Because I saw you putting it back up again. I was like, what happened?
Oh, no.
So, Zips, you haven't been streaming recently, but what have you been playing, dude? Have you been playing anything on your spare time?
I've been working on a lot of music stuff and music production lately, along with a lot of audio video projects for customers. So I've been trying to get back on the horse, and I also had a girlfriend for a little while that I had to travel to a lot. So
the lady's getting in the way.
Yeah, the lady, yeah. But that recently took an exit out of my life, and I've streamed, I believe, in the last week and a half. I've put up 6, and 7 will be happening later today. And being with my stats how they are, I should be able to secure affiliate here in the next few days. So that'll be a big push towards going forward with what I got going on. And I've been doing a lot of music on stream. I've been doing a lot of playing the piano, doing a lot of just randomly talking about things. Last night I had a bit of a rant session about politics and other things, so that was quite a bit of history going in there. I put up that same question I put up to you a long time ago about the is Hitler a good leader versus is he a good person, obviously. And we had a conversation about that last night, and it's been going really well. It's interesting to see. Honestly, you know, I've been streaming for a while now, and when I start streaming, I'll gain a community, and you know, I had that initial push with Agar, and then Agar pretty much dropped off the map and stopped being played. I was looking for another game that was going to do well for me, and then I came back again and started streaming and did Clash Royale, and I was doing Clash Royale a ton, and I developed a community with Clash Royale, but that community wasn't necessarily the one that I liked that much. It seemed that the more I got into Clash Royale, the more I realized that it was money-based streaming. So the more you get into it, the more you have to create events, the more you have to sponsor something in order to get people to come into the event and really be a part of your stream. So then I kind of took another dive off, and this time around I'm gonna do a lot more music-based to start, and then we're gonna expand out into doing other things such as like I do Jackbox.tv, and we sit and play Jackbox.tv for a couple hours, and it's a lot of fun because, you know, when you get that full room, you get a lot of people in there interacting with you, and you get your community involved in the stream. It's a lot of fun to see the interaction there.
Yeah, you do a lot of mobile gaming, which is awesome because I don't know many people who go into that side of things, and your communities were really based around, as you said, Clash Royale and party games like Jackbox. You do a lot of like community-based things, which is awesome. And why do you do that? Why do you play so many community-based games, and why do you always like interact with your viewers and get them into the game with you?
So when you have a stream, you have people that come in and tune into you, and it's completely fine if somebody sits there and lurks, but there's so many people on Twitch that are looking for that interaction directly with the person that's broadcasting. Like when we go into your stream or when we go into Fuzzle's stream, there's that one-on-one interaction that when you welcome somebody into the room, they get to have that special experience with the streamer where you go into a room that has, say, 1,000 people in it. And granted, you may know the streamer personally, but that streamer's not also going to pay the same amount of attention to you that you might like. So when it really comes down to it, when you give that one-on-one interaction with that person, it really, really helps the community, and it makes them feel like they are a part of what you have going on. And on top of that, when you play the party games, you have somebody coming into the room, you have somebody that's going to be interacting directly with you and giving into the stream themselves too. So they feel like they're contributing into the stream as much as I need, not necessarily need, but I need them in the room in order to create that kind of environment.
And if you guys don't know who Zipspence is, shout out in chat for Zipspence. He is a streamer who is big into production quality. He is Mr. Production Quality on Twitch, in my opinion. And also, I had a question that I wanted to ask you, Zips, about your production quality and your streams mixed. Your production quality is the highest that I know, but also you allow other people to come into the call with you during your streams. Like, some of them aren't even streamers themselves, they're literally just coming in as part of your stream. Why do you allow that? Why do you allow someone else on the microphone? They might not have the same quality audio as you. They might not be as entertaining as you. How come you allow that?
Because you're starting to create your community. That's part of why I bring them in, is because when you bring somebody into the call, you know, they know that they're on your stream. They know that they are able to be heard on your stream. And so you're then, you know, bringing them in and making them feel more a part of what you have going on. And I open, you know, most times I sit in Discord and I open up if I'm not doing music stuff, I open up the audio to anybody that wants to come in and be a part of it. Now, granted, that's burned me a little bit once in a while. There's been times where people have come in and just been completely rude. And for the most part, though, it has been very positive. I mean, I've built some good relationships with some people that have other people that have started streaming. This last time around that I started, I haven't really had anybody pop in yet, but it really helps somebody to think that you're more of a down-to-earth person. You want to be involved with the people that are watching you, not just sitting on that pedestal like some streamers do.
Staying humble, of course. So yeah, that's really cool. Fuzzles, I'm gonna ask you a question now, dude. I'm interested about Terraria. A lot of people in here from Terraria as well. So I got a question for you, dude.
May I ask you a question?
What the hell was wrong with that microphone? Okay, talk again there for a second.
What?
Okay, I think it's back. Hello, testing.
Robot for a second.
You went robot. You went full robot.
Hello.
Uh-oh.
Testing.
Oh god, we got problems. So, if the microphone's working, please God, how do you get to wave 15 on Frost Moon and Pumpkin Moon easily enough since 1.3? I want to get those 2 achievements. So what do I do? What I do about that?
Are you able to hear me correctly?
Okay, nope, it's still not working. Damn it.
What?
Now it's working. What's up?
Both y'all just have internet issues.
So
It is connected. That's what it is.
So what I'm
Is
thinking
Discord
is
having a problem right now?
it was having a problem earlier when I was talking to Joanna. So maybe mute your microphone on Discord and unmute yourself on Skype, Fuzzles. Hopefully that works.
You know what? Let me just completely disconnect.
Okay. And then get back in. Shit, dude. Right, so he can, while he's getting ready for his a microphone, I'm gonna ask you, Zips, have you ever played Terraria on stream?
I've never played it on stream. I attempted to play it off a stream and I failed miserably. I had no idea what I was doing, and I had no idea what was going on the whole time I was playing it.
Hey, can you
And
guys
so
hear
I
me?
started.
Yeah, all good,
That's
all
better.
good.
I'm using Skype right now.
Okay, it's a lot better, a lot cleaner. Obviously a little bit lower because Skype is Skype, but at least we have a second way.
Yeah, so I was playing it for a little while, and
So
I was
obviously
just
if you guys are
failing
talking right now,
miserably.
Oh,
I
yeah,
can't hear you guys
he can't
because
hear
I'm
us.
using
he can't
Skype.
hear us. Yeah.
And I can't hear you guys in
Right.
Discord. Discord is constantly connecting.
Okay, so
Constantly connecting.
let's
It's
leave
not- it's
Skype.
not-
Let me change over here.
Yeah,
not
let's change
maintained.
over. Let's change over to Skype. At least we have a second wave. I'll
You got me?
Yeah.
All right. Let's see if Martin can get in here.
quit Discord and now. Can you guys hear me?
Yes.
Perfect. At least we have a fail
Yeah,
safe.
sorry about that, guys. Yeah, so whenever I connect and disconnect and connect and it's just remaining on, like, it's not red or green, it's yellow and it just says connecting.
I think there might be
Weird.
an issue.
Yeah.
Well,
There's-
Discord's had some issues lately.
And for once off, Skype is doing well so far, touch wood, because Zips actually sounds better on Skype, and Fossils, we can hear you, so that's good.
Perfect.
Yeah, I'm gonna naturally sound better on Skype
what?
just because it actually has a little bit better audio rate.
It's the hidden level Discord. I just connected perfectly to other Discords.
Oh, interesting.
Really?
Did you remove my permissions?
Me? I don't even know how to do
Yeah,
that.
it's sitting there sitting on yellow.
Connecting.
You know what? We're good.
We
All right,
did it.
at least we know the issue.
Yeah.
It's hidden level Discord. Got it. Cool.
It's been attacked. We have an attack on hidden
Who's
level
hosting
Discord.
that server? Who's hosting that server?
I think it's Fossils, actually.
No.
No. Just straight up no.
So I think what we'll do is I'll ask Zips first. I'll finish this conversation, then we'll go to what I asked Fuzzles. Actually, you know what? I will finish what I was going to ask you, Zips, or tell you. Terraria might be a pain in the ass to get into at the beginning, but one thing about streaming Terraria is it's one of the best communities on Twitch for other streamers rather than viewers. Viewers are fun, viewers are fine, they're helpful, and you just have to make sure that you are patient with the amount of different things that they'll tell you at the same time. But for streaming, everyone in Terraria seems to know each other, and everyone helps each other out. So it's a very good place if you ever wanted to go there. So Fossils, Wave 15 of Frost Moon and Pumpkin Moon. Since 1.3 came out, I've never done the achievement. Best technique these days. What did you do?
You know, I don't do the Frost Moon or the Pumpkin Moon. However, it's always good to have an arena for those. Those are just like events, just like the Goblin Army and or the Pirates.
Okay.
Have yourself a decent arena. I think the tier weapons that both those provide are, I think, right around Plantera / Golem, kind of, if you want to reach like those high level like around level 15 is when you start seeing like a lot of those drops and a lot of that. So I would say probably wait till you get to about, you know, Plantera-ish to start the events. And again, to have an arena, have, you know, lava traps, you can grab like temple traps. You can actually obtain temple traps before even entering the temple, by the way. If any of them are hanging outside the door, you can actually grab them.
Awesome.
So you can have some high level, high damaging temple traps before even like hard mode.
That's amazing. I didn't even think of that.
Yeah. But yeah, there's lots of traps there that can help you out. And then ultimately have, you know, your nurse on standby somewhere that she doesn't get wrecked, and have some sort of way to dodge, dip, dive, duck, and dodge all the flying enemies, like the actual Pumpkin King and the Frost Queen Woman Witch thing that, you know, she flies around. Those two are probably the most difficult enemies to kill during those events.
Awesome. I'll definitely use that advice. What weapon did you use, or will I just use a Moonlord weapon and go over and do the two moons?
If you've killed Moonlord, it should be pretty easy.
Okay.
Something to really just destroy everything would probably be some chlorophyte bullets and a high damaging gun.
Okay, the SDMG I'd say would be the best for me. So
yeah.
Right, I'm gonna feed your ego a little bit, Fuzzles. We know we like to do this over on Hidden Level Podcast. I was in someone else's stream. Oh my god, please don't tell me I pressed a wrong button there. Anyway, someone else's stream recently, and they were talking about like all these strategies and stuff like that. And then one guy was like, so I learned a strategy from Fuzzles. And then this guy on the streamer himself was like, yeah, man, Fuzzle Bigfoot taught me this just by watching his stream. And then the other guy was like, oh yeah, I also learned this strat from Fuzzle Bigfoot. And then the other guy said, I wonder, does Fuzzles Bigfoot do this? And then the other guy was like, I think he does. And it's like two people having a conversation in their stream talking about you and all these like strats about how you would use, how would you get the Bezoar from your access or your what's it called, your social slot or whatever it's called, and you switch it over quickly to take off the poison and then put it back on again into your social slot just to use it against poison but not have it equipped all the time. And it was pretty fun and surreal watching that. I knew I had to pass the message on, and I just waited for the podcast just to give you a big head.
Thank you for letting me know that. That's really nice. Yeah, I never mentioned the Bezoar item itself, but I did mention recently how you keep items in your social slots so that you can just quickly right click them to just fast equip them, and then it, you know, it works. Like for example, you want to use like a really high damaging set of armor, yet it provides not a lot of defense. So have the one with lots of defense and can help you out in the social slot, so you can just right click them and swap them over super fast, so you can run and heal back up, and then once you're all ready to go, swap back the high damaging armor really fast, and then boom, you're ready to go again.
Do you use autopause for those situations, or is that too slow?
You can use autopause, but like you don't need autopause for those specific situations. You don't. Yeah.
Awesome. That's what I did against Wall of Flesh. I used your idea. Crimson Armor in social slot, Meteor Armor in main slot, switch over, get the regeneration, switch back. It worked like a charm, so it was pretty cool.
Yeah.
So, back to something Zips can understand, because this is double judge. This is
I'm sitting here. I'm just sitting here thinking, I gotta really learn more about Terraria. I have no idea what you guys are talking about.
The way Zip was agreeing with everything that I was saying, I was like, wow, this guy really is like following exactly what I'm talking about. He knows exactly what I'm saying.
Nope.
He's
I'm
like,
just good at this.
No, I do that too.
I do that too, man. I do that too.
Yeah, I got you.
All right.
The Beezor, yeah.
I'll tell you
for
one
sure.
last story about Terraria, guys. Just one. It's like a real life story. I was down at the coffee shop today, got a free coffee this morning before the stream. Turns out the guy who runs the coffee shop and the other coffee shops in Ireland, he watches the stream sometimes. And he came on, he normally watches me play Binding of Isaac, but he popped on, saw me playing Terraria, and saw me looking for like mushrooms. And he said, I had no idea what was going on. And then he said, how many hours do you have in that game? I said, 700. And he said, and you're still looking for fucking mushrooms? It was hilarious. A real life story about Terraria. So yeah, free coffee hype. Shout out to that guy. Shout out to Butler's Coffee if you're watching. Best coffee ever. Now, let's get into Twitch updates and Twitch news. There isn't really much going on apart from Twitch Unity. First of all, Fuzzles, I'll ask Zips in a second. Did you know about Twitch Unity? Do you know what it is? Did you do anything for it?
Are you referring to the Twitch partners that are coming together to help each other out? Big partners and small partners?
Yeah, it's like that, but it was for everyone, not just partners. So unless they either portrayed a different message or it's a different thing, I don't know.
I read over the email. I chose not to be a part of it because I already, as is, am a very, very busy guy, and we have a very close family to also keep up to date with right now with Hidden Level, and I don't think I would have the time and effort to put into something else as of right now.
Yeah. Well, it wasn't really that big of a deal anyway, because I'll explain why in a second. But Zips, did you hear about it, and did you do anything for it?
I heard about it. I didn't look too much into it just because I've been fairly busy lately. But when it really boils down to is, being part of Twitch itself. They're trying to get, from what I understood about the situation, is that they're kind of trying to take the people that are accomplished, that have been doing the right things, that have the communities, and then kind of, not dispersing them per se, but like bringing people along with them for the ride, like getting other people to the same level that they are, or just even getting them to partnership. So like taking somebody that I do this on a fairly common basis already, where I'll be inside of a channel, like I'm inside the music channel, and at the end of the night I look for somebody to either to host or to tune into their stream to see what they're all about. And I know if they have good content, I am more than willing to email them offline and bring them to, say, creating an overlay for them, giving them some production tips as far as getting their stream to be a high quality stream in order to allow for the expansion to grow. So I've done that pretty much since day one. I mean, I've created overlays for a few of your friends, MC. I've created some content for other streamers, and as a artist myself, I really do look for helping others in the community that I believe do have good streams and good quality content.
Awesome. And that's what Twitch Unity is all about, really.
Exactly. And so, I've already been on that page of trying to accomplish those things for a while. It's more or less at this time trying to take those people that are accomplished. Like I had a friend, I think you know who she is, Bianca. She chose to be part of the Kitty Plays stream team.
Oh, she got on there.
Nice. And so, yeah, she got on there, but it's when she's hit some hardships lately, and she's reached out for some help from me, and I did what I could for her, but part of having that community is being able to rely on that community whenever the hardships do arise. If something comes up and you're like, holy crap, I need help with this, having that community to where you get that kind of support. And it kind of shocked me that her community, nothing against the Kitty Plays community whatsoever, don't get me wrong, I'm sure they're phenomenal people, but it seems like the community wasn't very community based.
Yeah.
Is the best way I could put it. Like they just were. Yeah, they didn't really come in, and like the community never really seemed to tune into her channel. Like it's just like you're part of the team and you get to have the badge kind of deal.
Kind of like a label.
Yeah. And that's what also scares me about that program is that you have these larger streamers that might create these communities and start it just not necessarily for their own publicity, but to have that pool of people that they can hand select and then bring up. And that's not necessarily what I think is a positive about that program also, because then, you know, they have that ability to pick and choose who they like instead of having everybody in the community on the same page and bringing everybody in the community with them on their way upwards.
I don't really want to add anything to what you said because you're 100% right on what Twitch Unity is. I'll just do 2 bullet points and then I'll tell maybe a story about how I think they should have done it better. So first of all, Twitch Unity is going to be a yearly thing. It's going to happen on the 26th to the 5th, 2018 as well. And it's going to be Twitch Day, pretty much. It's our anniversary, and they're going to do it every year. The second thing is that it's diversified, so all generations, all backgrounds, they all meet together and help each other out. But the most important thing is, how did they do it wrong? So in my opinion, this is only my opinion now, guys, this is how they could improve. I'll get your opinion, guys, as well. First of all, they only did a hashtag for your titles and they did a community for you to stream under. Now the problem there is communities are not doing very well at the moment and hashtags are not going to do much. They should have created a full game section for Twitch Unity and we could have streamed in there, because I was on front page Friday and I was supporting Twitch Unity with the support of Twitch, but I didn't have very much impact because I wasn't in a game and nobody was in the community like watching. They were all looking through the browse section. And then what happened was we went to the Twitch party which they had for Twitch Unity and they weren't even in their own community. Joanna was the one that noticed it actually. So this is supporting Twitch Unity. And you're supposed to stream within the Twitch Unity community, and they weren't even in their own community. So first of all, they need a browse game, first of all, for Twitch Unity next year. Second of all, they need to support their own product if they're going to promote it. And third of all, well, actually, the one thing I loved about it was the party was actually kind of fun because they got all the staff members from Twitch to get up and dance to Just Dance, and it was hilarious watching them dance. It was like watching. I posted a tweet about it. The Afghan army doing the jumping jacks, and they're all out of sync and stuff like that. It was hilarious, but it was really, really fun to watch. And they did have a good laugh. They got DJ Wheat, he was just out of a business meeting. He was still wearing his business clothes. They got him to do the worm across the floor, and he banged his chin off the floor. It was hilarious. He almost knocked himself out. So
you know what I think Twitch Unity was? I think it was a knee-jerk reaction. I think that's what it was. I think it was one person complained that maybe Twitch wasn't growing in a specific direction that maybe Twitch claimed to have been growing in, and Twitch was like, well then how about you do something about it then? I said, okay, fine, I'll do something. And then they never followed through with it. I think that both parties knew that nothing would come of this, yet something was kind of drafted and written in place to take forward that they said that they would. It just, I don't see it as a big deal. It kind of fell through, and
like communities.
If it doesn't fall back through again even next year, then it is what it is. But if they want it to happen, they'll get somebody more proactive on it next time for sure. They
need a team for it. Like they do TwitchCon very well, so they should be able to do their own in-house things.
Nailed it.
Yeah, they nailed TwitchCon. They need to nail these type of business deals as well, or these products. So that's pretty much the main Twitch update at the moment. I don't think there's anything else happening on Twitch that's crazy. Tickets for TwitchCon are out very soon or already out. What's the story on that, Zips and Fuzzles? Do you guys know?
I've been looking.
Okay.
They're still not selling tickets.
I haven't seen much.
Okay. Hopefully they'll be out in the next.
You coming to America this year, MC?
No, it'll be next year. Yeah. I need to go to you guys.
Starring Eddie Murphy.
I wouldn't. Yeah. I can't go this year for money reasons, but also I want to try and like focus on the stream because while you guys are out having a good time, the cat's away, so the mice will play. We're gonna grow the stream as much as we can over the weekend while all the other streamers are out having a bit of fun. And yeah, it's gonna be a lot of fun streaming. Also next year I hope to go, and hopefully they'll have a TwitchCon in Europe as well, and you guys might be able to pop over here to us. I won't be doing any conventions this year, I don't think. I'm thinking of going to Gamescom for one day just to go see everyone, because I go to Germany a lot anyway. It's not like I'm going there just for the Gamescom, but we'll see. And are you guys going to any other conventions other than TwitchCon? Fuzzles, are you going anywhere?
No, I heard Comic-Con was happening in Arizona though this year. Actually, I heard it was happening like right now.
Oh god.
In Arizona. I was like, wait, what? I'd be there if I was in Arizona right now, but yeah. So I'm gonna live life on the edge. All right, I'm gonna go with the flow, and if things happen and they're within my availability and time slots to get there, I'll get there.
Exactly.
But at the same time, I'm in this mindset where stop spending money, start saving it, because stuff is gonna be happening here in the next couple months, and I really need to be prepared. So. It is what it is as of right now.
2 months away or 3 months away for you?
2 months.
2 months.
2 months.
2 months. Wow, man, that flew in a way. I mean, it was probably torture for you, but it flew in a way.
It's
Zips,
like pulling teeth.
are you going to any conventions other than TwitchCon this year?
Yeah. I pop out to pretty much all the conventions that happen in Minnesota. So we got something called 2DCon, we got Convergence, we got actually Anime Detour just happened. There's a lot of conventions in Minnesota, which is the state that I live in, that happen on a regular basis. So I a lot of times take part in those conventions, go there, see people, and hang out with a lot of the other people that are in the Minnesota streaming community. We have a deal going on right now, actually, where we are starting up another little community to be part of, which is specifically Minnesota streamers. We've always kind of been trying to trickle this on and get a community based just specifically out of the state that we can create events for and go out to. It's another thing that we're trying to get started, is more Twitch related events in the area. So we have all the conventions and such, but you don't really get too many other opportunities to see a streamer hosted event. So we're looking into getting some streamer run events happening to get the community out and actually have a good conversation with people and actually meet them face to face and get them on the same page as us as far as what's going on in the streaming communities and what's going on with getting around. To touch base on actually what you were talking about real quick, for what you said, the 2 improvements you had were, I think the communities thing, the Drunken Irish Streamers is what you got going on for the community right now, is a great, phenomenal introduction that they had. I think it lost a lot of steam when it boils down to things that have been coming about on that type of genre. I mean, I don't have a whole ton of people that I know that really look specifically for that community-based person. But I think if we are going to expand into Twitch into the future, something that would be phenomenal if they did, because a lot of streamers already have stream teams. And there's not don't get me wrong, I don't know, correct me if I'm wrong here, there isn't a specific place on Twitch where it has that community based. So say the MC Games, the hidden level team, like, do you guys have a little icon on Twitch to where you can go in there, see all the people's bios, and just like have a little tab up top where you got your following, you got your browse, but then have your stream team community. Like, you have your team communities where you have the hidden level team. Everybody has a little excerpt underneath them saying who they are, what time they stream. And then you have the ability to go into that community and tune into any one of those people through that avenue of approach.
That's such a good idea. Just to elaborate on that, you have to go into a person from the team to go into hidden level, but to have hidden level on the browse section, or to have an icon on the browse section as if you're following a of one individual streamer. That's a cool idea, actually.
You
but
want
that
to be able
isn't
to
available.
follow the hidden level page, like the hidden level page of streamers. That'd be cool.
Exactly.
That would be very cool.
So you can
put that into Twitch.
You can click. Yeah, right. Pull up that icon, click on it, and then all of a sudden everybody inside hidden level pops up in the same way that it does. And when you hit your following button, you see who's live, who's not live, and then you can click on them and specifically go into them and look at what's going on. That would be something that I think would be very beneficial, because then you would be expanding out into other parts of the community. Like, say, I know about Fuzzles, I know about MC, and I know about the other streamers that you have involved inside your community, but I don't, right off the top of my head, have the ability to just click and say, all right, here they are,
Do you know what? I'm going to send an email to someone about that, because I know someone in Twitch who does all this kind of thing. They take care of all the the game sections. Now, I will say it was you that told me, but the only thing is they don't really care who told you. They just want to rob the idea and run with it. So because it's a good idea, it doesn't matter who gets the benefit for that. But I'm going to send that through to him and ask him if he can get that done. Another thing that I asked him to do, which he said he might try to do, he's going to try and do, is get us all partnership jumpers by the end of the year. So hopefully they're going to be able to put a budget for that. He said that the budget has been spent on something else, blah, blah, blah. So hopefully the next financial year we'll get that. I'm going to copy what Clowntown says there and have a look at that in a second. So we were talking about, you guys were talking about something when I entered the Discord. Fuzzles, want to take the key here and tell me what it is and start up this topic? Because I have no idea what it is.
Oh, man.
I'm sorry. Are we referring to what we were talking about right before we...
The 24-hour deal.
Just
YouTubers.
Oh, yeah. As long as you want to talk about it now.
Let me rant, okay?
Okay.
Let me just...
You haven't had time on the mic, so go.
With
Go
you guys.
for it.
Okay. So, if you guys are following YouTube even remotely, you would know and have probably seen the stupid, absolute stupid live streams that people are doing on YouTube. And it's just for likes, subs, and that's it. All right? Nothing more. Nothing less. People doing 24-hour live streams of spinning a fidget spinner, slapping themselves in the face, watching a 14-second GIF. Like, what are you doing with your life right now, other than obtaining a number on your page? Like, first off, what kind of audience are you attracting right now? And like, how about you do something like way more productive? It blows my mind what people are doing on YouTube, and just goes to show just how much they actually just don't give a shit. Now, if it was spinning a fidget spinner for charity for 24 hours, cool, awesome. Watching a 14-second GIF, for 24 hours for charity, sweet. But clearly, when your title says, I need this amount of subscribers by the end of my 24-hour stream, like, dude, do you understand the audience that you're bringing back? Do you understand the audience that is not going to come back unless you do something more stupid right now? It blows my mind what people are doing right now. It blows my mind. That's the topic that I am
referring
kind
to.
of just blown away by right now. You know, and the fact that people are piggybacking off of these ideas. One person did the 24-hour ridiculous, stupid stream, and then all these YouTubers are coming out of the woodwork going, "Hold on, that's the secret." I want to be really fucking stupid as well and do the exact same stupid thing.
Oh my god. I don't even need to add anything to that myself, because it's all about the money. What about you, Zips? Do you have anything to add to it, dude?
No, I hit on this earlier when I was talking to him, and I said, the basis around the whole thing is excess.
Yeah.
It's money and excess. I have, you're not accomplishing anything by doing that for 24 hours, except for either one, you're getting the sick fulfillment of saying that I was the first person to do this stupid thing.
They actually have a world
saying
record
you're the
for
first
that.
person. Exactly. That's what I'm saying. Like you're creating that world record, or you're just doing something for the sake of doing something to be the guy, aka the guy that spun the fidget spinner for 24 hours. You are that guy, and you are YouTube famous for one reason. And as Fuzzle said, where is the community going to go after that?
The next person.
What community is built? What exactly? You have to consistently bring up like the new ridiculous content of you doing something for 24 hours, marooning your body, doing something in the same spot or in the same chair for 24 hours, and it should just it's something that exists for the fact that people love to watch excess and somebody being ridiculous.
Yeah.
In the same instance.
I was gonna say, let's say for example you built a community, right? A 100,000 viewer subscriber community, doing something that you believe in and that you've built this entire time, and then suddenly you go, wait, I can make another 50,000 subscribers. I can increase my audience by another 50,000 in one 24-hour live stream by doing this really stupid thing. You are basically slapping the faces of the 100,000 that you built, turning your back on them for doing something completely different and absolutely retarded. And I'm seeing some YouTube channels do this. Like their audience has been built on something specific, and it's been fantastic. And I have no doubt that they're probably amazing YouTubers. And then they go, wait, I can increase by how much, and I can get how much money for doing this stupid stuff. Let's do a 24-hour stream. Let's do it. Yeah, let's team, hey, let's go. Come on, let's start this up. I want this right now. It just goes to show just how much you just don't care. I don't know. It just like all that time and effort and all the months or years that you've spent into building your YouTube channel into what it is, and making your community what it is. And now you're bringing a bunch of just cancer into your YouTube, and that it's disgusting. I don't know.
Let's save that point that Peter Parker brought up there for the next point.
YouTube is dying.
After we get off this one. Yeah. So, YouTube has been a place that since the start of it has been a place for anything and everything to exist. So if there's going to be something ridiculous that you see, it will exist on YouTube.
For sure.
And as far as the community goes, to name drop a couple people, the Backyard Scientist or the Slow-Mo guys, people that pretty much started from nothing, had a cool concept and ran with it. And, they're or the Smarter Every Day, those guys, I love those channels so much because they do some ridiculous things every once in a while, but they really, in the end of it, they're bringing education to people that normally wouldn't do that. Like, you're not going to have a science teacher sit there and have things explode in their classroom. So it's people like the Backyard Scientist fill that void where you get to see how mercury does inside of a bottle when you flip it and you try to do your flip game in the bottle. Like, stuff like that. I will always appreciate those communities for what they have done and what they're bringing to it. And these people on YouTube that do these stunts for the 24 hours, they are quote unquote the virus of YouTube. They are the people that create something and then it goes too far. There's been a lot of people lately that had gotten into lawsuits over something that they've done, because they had that channel. All right, so say this, you have a channel base where you have those 50,000 viewers or those 100,000 viewers, and you've been producing this content which has been pretty cool up till this point, and then you run into a dry spot. You run into a dry spell. There's a YouTuber that recently got in trouble for creating a video because he depicted a racist thing that happened because there was a car that was placed on a parking lot and it had Trump stickers all over it, and then these black guys showed up and beat the crap out of the car.
It was fake?
Well,
was it?
It was fake. 100% fake.
Oh.
And then after the video came out, they had some dude in an apartment like that was recording the whole thing, and like as he's shooting this video saying, we're just gonna leave this car in this parking lot and see what happens to it, and we'll see what happens. I think it's Jolie Salads is actually the guy's name.
Video.
But,
yeah, I saw that. Yeah, I saw that shit.
And then like there's a picture out of an apartment where you have the 4 black guys standing behind the camera waiting to go in and destroy the car. And it's like,
oh god,
you at one point in time during his YouTube career, he might have had content that was alluring and drawing and had a good community based around it. Mm-hmm. And then you get into a dry spell where you don't have any upwards and outwards, and you don't know what you're gonna do. So then you create this content which is a virus to YouTube, and it creates so much controversy that any publicity is some publicity or good publicity, I guess you could say. But it's on the same line as booby streamers, and I'll let MC expand on that one further. But it's on the same line as that. It's just whether it's positive or negative, it's bringing entertainment and bringing eyes. And if that was his mindset, if all that it took was, hey, was that fake? Yeah, it was. Good question. Next question. If that's all it took to understand, then cool. But people are immediately assuming that's a fake. He's a liar. He deceived all of us. Well, no. What he was doing was providing just simple entertainment. Whether you wanted to believe it or not, that's all up to you. And that goes with any video that gets posted on YouTube. Mm-hmm. Was that fake? We don't know. Not until you ask the question.
This kind of goes straight into you actually put this topic very well when it comes to the booby streamer thing, and it's related to YouTube. So we're going to enter another part of the topic now, guys, about booby streamers. If you're not interested to know about booby streamers, turn off your headsets now. We're not going to be going too much into this, but I want to know, you guys, your opinions on the whole YouTube, one particular YouTuber actually, versus Twitch booby streamers that happened over the last couple of weeks, where there's a community who were on Twitch. They got booted off Twitch, and now they're trying to get all the booby streamers banned from Twitch, and they're actually getting a couple of them banned. And I want to know your guys' opinion on that. So I'm not going to mention the booby streamers. We don't want to be giving them any publicity. But it's your buddy, Fuzzles. It's Ice Poseidon.
No!
his community are running rampant across the IRL community, trying to get all the booby streamers banned for showing cleavage, for being sexual, for grabbing their boobs. And there's like all these videos about it on YouTube at the moment. It's ridiculous, blown out of proportion. It's like a witch hunt, actually. What do you think about that, Fuzzles? Have you heard of it yet?
Hey, I've heard of all of it. What specific question do you have?
What's your opinion on the fact that they're attacking booby streamers now that they got booted off Twitch themselves?
It is what it is, man.
It's just sad.
Hey, if the draw of your channel is your boobs, you're asking for this.
Yeah. Well, you're not asking for it. You're cheeky.
No, you're asking for it. You are absolutely asking for it. Now, do not get me on the same page as, she dressed Howie Watts, or you say that she asked him. No, this is not the same thing. This is a form of entertainment. This is a screen. You are specifically putting your breasts big and large on the screen. You are absolutely asking for it. Absolutely. 110%. Do not get those two conversations misconstrued at all. Do not. Anyways. Oh, and just so you guys know, I have attended, sexual harassment training. Okay, respect the answer. Okay. Ask first. All right.
Oh my
you drop
God.
alcohol on them, you can't do it.
I rock this thing.
Any alcohol in there, don't do it.
Don't do it.
I'm gonna take a quick caveat to this and bring up something that I saw on YouTube not too long ago. I don't remember how I saw it. I think it was actually in one of the news channels I watch. How a girl on YouTube. Let me bind you this. Twitch, things disappear. After you do your cast, unless somebody saves it for some whatever reason, your video or your VOD, it disappears after a certain amount of time.
Yeah.
You can take it down.
I kind of disagree with that. But go ahead.
You mean it's always going to be there?
I'm getting there. There is ways to grab the content and save it to your computer. Yeah. But what it really boils down to, YouTube Once it's there, it's never going away.
Mm-hmm.
So a few weeks ago, there was a female that decided to say, I think she was 21 or 18, one of the two. She was legal. Let's put it that way. She decided that she was 18 and her boyfriend was 21. What she did on YouTube was stream her applying her makeup on her face with her boyfriend's ballsack.
On YouTube.
I'm dead serious. This exists on YouTube. A girl, attractive girl, mind you, applied her makeup on her face with her boyfriend's ballsack. And she is now viral because of that.
Did she catch a virus?
I hope so.
Please tell me she got gonorrhea to the face, please.
What the fuck?
That's
I'm just kidding.
That's what I'm saying. It exists.
But
and it's something it's in the same instance. Yeah, it's on YouTube, and she could technically be considered a booby streamer too. You know, she's an Instagram person that likes to show off what she's got. But she's on brushes.
So tell me their channel got banned, right?
No.
Oh, so we can now have ball sacks on YouTube.
We can jiggle them around.
That's the moment that I've been waiting for.
It's not direct. It's
later,
blurred
guys.
out.
I'm going back to YouTube.
It's like blurred out, but you know it's happening.
Bloody hell, man.
It could have been fake.
That's what I'm saying. And it's not going away.
Could have been fake.
Could have been fake.
So yeah, that is the.
Remember the Steve-O ball sack?
You could see enough of it to where you were like, all right, this is real. And I was grossed out like almost.
I bet her parents are so proud of her.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I'm saying. Like, her parents exist in this world still. What in the world? You know, like, your daughter is now known. I get like I get, you know, being a stripper or, you know, doing things in Vegas. You're making money doing things there, but like a ball sack on your face for YouTube. Come on.
No.
All right, let's get back. Let's get.
Cloudton has specifically said he's going to turn into a sack streamer, just like a booby streamer, but he's going to point a camera at his pants and like really tight pants and specifically outline his junk, and it's the exact same thing. I mean, like why not? You know?
Yeah, but people always want to see.
As long as the game is there, there's a sack right. It is what it is. You know?
Oh God.
You can't get taken down. You know? You can't.
Okay, so really quickly, I want to stay on this topic. I want to throw a little bit of something else in there, and then we'll continue on with YouTube. So Twitch has gained some ground upon its competitors recently, and the second one is what the lads in the chat said about YouTube is dying. But the first one is Beam have changed their name to Mixer.
Yep.
What the hell is that? They had a cool name, they had a brand, and
now it's even cooler.
And just as their brand was getting good, they changed their name. What is this?
MC. I think they're a big enough company or corporation to know exactly what they're doing. Okay?
Oh yeah, of course they can't make any mistakes.
Whether we understand it or not, I think they know exactly what they're doing. So
why do you keep changing color?
Honestly, why are you Chroma?
I don't know anything about technology, okay? If this thing wants to change color, all right, I don't ask it questions. I don't say or bang on it. I don't do nothing. I let it do its thing.
I could have sworn that I was going nuts and I was just seeing that you were changing, like, everything was fine, but like, you're actually changing color.
It does change color, yeah. The green specifically.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. All right. Sorry, I had to point that out. It was driving me nuts.
He's getting a bit failure. The second thing then is YouTube is dying. What do you think, guys? YouTube dying. All the YouTubers are coming over to Twitch. What do you think about that? Do you agree with that? Do you disagree with that?
Do you want to tackle this one first?
Yeah, I can tackle this one first. Okay. So the channels that I watch for news, I'll lay it out there right now. It's Philip DeFranco. He does an excellent job covering these topics as far as with the Twitch the Twitch crossover, the YouTube dying. Let's put it this way: YouTube will never die. YouTube will transform into being something else. So
yeah.
In the big part of what's happening right now, there's a lot of the streamers that have gone to YouTube because Twitch has already had the instance where we create content which is phenomenal. We do it live. We do all these production value things already live streaming. We don't have that ability to reshoot something. We do, but we don't have that ability to do a retake necessarily. We do something that pretty much, nobody else does except for some very small media outlets like Periscope or something like that. But when it comes down to us crossing over to YouTube, it is so much easier for us to make that transition over there than it is for them to make the transition here.
Yeah.
Now, granted, there are some YouTubers that have done extremely well in this instance. Like one of my favorite YouTube artists is Jenna Marbles. Her and her boyfriend Julian have done very well on Twitch. They had that community already based on YouTube, and they brought a large part of that community over to Twitch, and I think that's phenomenal. But when it really gets around to YouTube dying, it's because of the ability for ads to be demonetized. There's so many ad campaigns that have jumped ship from YouTube because of what's been going on with the first topic. I could say that really did the first bit of bad was the advertisers finding out that some of the channels that they advertise on have been, or you could say, who the hell is that guy's name? The biggest YouTuber out there.
PewDiePie?
Yeah, PewDiePie. It came about with the PewDiePie scandal, where they said that PewDiePie is supporting Hitler. PewDiePie's doing this, that, and the other thing. PewDiePie never did any of those things. He was making fun of it, if anything. And a lot of the ad people then see that their videos were being... And you could also say this is also with the media, because the media was instigating that whole deal with PewDiePie, where he lost his channel, he lost his show that he was doing because of the media. And we can say in the grand scheme of things that YouTube is now transforming into having YouTube TV. They're bringing in these large name artists, like you could say Jimmy Fallon has been on YouTube for a long time. All the late night shows have been on YouTube for a while, and they've done well, and it's fun. It's nice for people like me that don't stay up super late a lot of times to watch shows like that, so I can go to YouTube and then watch those clips of what I want to see, and then that's gone. But they bring all those people into YouTube community, and now because they have clean content, they have all this content which is production value, and they don't have a lot of that smut in it that could possibly be bad for ad distributors. Ads are now being classified into different categories, and people are getting videos demonetized because the advertisers don't want to have their videos having going on those on that content. So they strip the monetization off of it. The YouTubers are losing thousands and thousands of dollars, dare I not say tens of thousands. And those guys are now looking for different avenues to diversify and get their money back. So some of them are flocking to Twitch, and they're not doing so hot on Twitch, a lot of them. But they also are opening the door for content like you, Fuzzles. You don't have a very perverse channel. You can then go onto YouTube and get instant monetization. MC, you swear a little more, so you might not have as easy of a time. I wouldn't have an easy time doing it because I swear, and I drink on my channel. So, people that have the clean content, the PG stuff, can go into YouTube with videos flying and blazing, and they can get that monetization and grab those communities where the other people that are losing the money and looking for the other avenues are dying out, per se. But the most interesting thing with where the direction of YouTube is going is with the television aspect. They have been trying to create their classifications to get the ads being brought back to certain channels, and to push further past that, they're also bringing a lot of big mainstream people and creating partnerships and those shows on YouTube to try to bring the community back, because they're losing a lot of the people that used to be a lot of fun to watch.
Very good point. And Fuzzles, before we move on to another topic, what's your opinion on this?
I could not agree more with Zip here. I was going to mention the same thing as far as YouTube is not ever going to die. Yes, it is diminishing as of right now. It's on a downslope, but YouTube is way too smart and has way too much money not to make a big turnaround. That's how they thrive. That's how anything thrives, really. They have enough brain power and money to make a big turnaround, which they always will. YouTube is not going to die. but it is on a downslip as of right now.
Yeah.
As for
you could equate it to Facebook.
Yeah.
You know, Facebook got huge, and then had a really big issue for a few years, and you know, it's just never going to go away. It's the best social media site there is, really.
Yeah, even if it goes down a few bits and the shareholders are not happy, it's still huge. Like, it's still a massive company. So it's interesting.
Yeah,
very good point.
And then as far as YouTubers coming over to Twitch to bring their audience on over, because they want to make a big turnaround, and they hate YouTube now, and they want to rebel and screw YouTube and come on over to Twitch with me, guys. Thank you so much for helping out our website that we've been working very hard on to make more enjoyable, and thank you for coming on over to Twitch, big YouTubers. Thank you so much for stopping by and saying hi, and bringing some viewers on over and letting us know that we exist.
The size of the pie, as Clowntown says.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
I don't have anything to add because you guys just nailed it on the head. So the only thing I would say is, one thing I can't understand, and there's no real reason to speculate, is how come we have no ads on a lot of gaming channels, no ads on a lot of other channels out there, but there's still ads on either end of all the Vivo music. And there's so much cursing in the songs. There's so much nudity, half-naked women. Not saying there's anything wrong with it. That's the
it's contracts,
culture,
bro.
Exactly, the money.
Yeah,
it's
money.
It's favoritism. It's contracts. I'm not gonna put my music video on YouTube unless you give me special permissions.
Yeah, exactly. And you're gonna miss out on 75 million views or whatever.
Exactly.
So
yeah, you want 2 billion views on my video? Well, then give me a little special little leeway. All right.
It just goes to show that it's not always the same for everyone. It's small.
Hit the nail on the head there.
So it's crazy. Now, speaking of YouTube, one last thing, guys, have you been watching Kronika's videos on YouTube?
No,
I have not. No.
Oh, they're awesome. They're so much fun. He does different. I asked him how it works just because I wanted to talk about it in the podcast, and I was a little bit confused. So he does episodes 1 to 7, for example, in Finland, and then he does episodes 1 to 7 in Norway, and it's literally him traveling across Scandinavia at the moment, and he films pretty much day by day his travels, and he literally got bollock naked and went into the Arctic Ocean to get ready for the summer, to clean his winter fur, as he called it. And the video is hilarious because he comes out of his caravan, and it's like he's wearing just swimming shorts, and it's like, now let's go, and it says, nope, it's too cold, and he runs back in, gets all his gear on, gets into the water, and then strips off. I mean, what the hell, dude? So it's hilarious. I love the music. The editing is so good. I wish I could edit like Kran. I know it's not like crazy professional editing, but it's still better than what I do. And I just love the editing, the intro, the outro. He's in the middle of the most northern part of Europe, okay? Mountains, the Arctic Ocean, all this stuff. And he has his drone following his van on the road, and the drone is taking pictures of like a sunrise and all that stuff. It's amazing. You should guys watch it. And then I've been following all of his videos, but he was mentioning about other people who do it. And there's actually a couple from Slovakia who are going, I think it's Slovakia, Kran can probably say something. And it's they're going through, they sold all their apartment, they sold all their stuff, they're on the road. And I said to Kran, how the hell do these two people not kill each other? Because they're living with each other for like 6 months in a little caravan. It's hilarious. But I think this is really cool. It's such a good idea, such a cool journey.
You know,
am I the only one that absolutely loves Kronika's hair?
Yeah, I think
the fact that he could like pull it all up and then squeeze it together to make it look like a unicorn, and it'll just stay there naturally.
Yeah.
I love it, man.
What are we gonna say, Zips?
So to hit on that point, that's actually becoming kind of a trending thing right now. I mentioned this channel earlier, Julian Solomita, who's a YouTuber. He has been doing a lot of these vlogs, and he has those drone production videos. I love with a passion those shots that those guys pull with those drones. The sunsets like slowly going over just normal things. The view that they have in their editing skills and their eye to capture this content, put music to it, and then release it into a production value is just so amazing. But one thing that Krenek is doing that Julian's kind of doing the same kind of deal is that he created a deal called last minute trips. And it's a really cool concept because they take a dart. This is a screwdriver, by the way. They take a dart and they throw it at a map, and then whatever it lands on, they go to. They get a ticket, they make a budget, and they go.
That's a cool idea, yeah.
It's a really cool idea. And, what Krenek is doing is phenomenal in itself, doing the travel and trip around. But I love when people create that content with a drone, going and finding, not something that might not necessarily be something that's beautiful, like a highway, but just having that slow moving drone content over where you're looking down and you're seeing the movement and you're seeing something that's just different than you would ever capture any other way aside from with that drone.
That's awesome. I have a funny story for you guys, just to tell you a little bit of an off-topic thing. Fuzzles and I, and Fuzzles and all of the European Hidden Level members have this little joke that goes on, and that is #sarcasm Fuzzles, because American sarcasm and European sarcasm is so much different that I'm only noticing how big of a difference it is because of the conversations I've had with Fuzzles in the past. Let me tell you a quick story. So this guy on Twitter posted a message saying, everyone's talking about fidget spinners, but nobody's talking about a little device that you have in your car that nobody's using called the indicator. You guys probably call it the signal.
The turn signal.
Turn signal. So we call it an indicator. You guys start calling it a turn signal. I'll translate for you guys. I'll translate. So I posted a message to him. This guy was based in America. And I said, yeah, did you not hear the new 2017 cars do not come with turn signals? And he believed me. He thought that I was being sincere. It was hilarious because obviously it was sarcasm. I should have put like #sarcasm at the end, sarcasm Fuzzles or something. But it was just so funny that he thought I was actually being sincere, that new cars don't come with turn signals. And it's simply because nobody's using them.
If you want to make me rage while we're on the road, like I'll be driving down the road just normal. I drive a lot for work. I probably put on 300 miles on average a day. One of the things that probably makes me the most angry with how much I drive is when somebody just lane switches without a turn signal.
Yeah.
And it drives me absolutely bonkers because with the amount that I drive, I am trying to be as safe as possible in my trip from A to B or wherever I go.
Yeah.
And the most dangerous situations I've ever been in driving has been because somebody has not used their indicator or hasn't used their turn signal, because they are making a move and I don't know.
Yeah, exactly.
If they want to merge over, let's do it. Like, yeah, put your turn signal on. I will create space for you because I am trying to get there safe. I don't want to create a situation to where somebody else is going to be in 100%. Trouble. So I will create that space. I will let you in. If you have your turn signal on, GG. You're trying to cut me off without a turn signal. I might actually go. I've gone off the road 2 or 3 times because of somebody coming over without a turn signal because there's no space there.
Now, here's so the only defense that I could see people using whenever it comes to turn signals in the state of California. Hey, Zip, I'm on your side, dude. All right, I don't want to see that. I'm on your side. I absolutely hate people who do not use their turn signal. But here's what I'll tell you. In California, what I have experienced, because I always use my turn signal when I should. When I do, I would say more than half the time, people get super defensive and go, no, you're not coming into my lane. No.
Yep.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, I can agree with that.
Right there. You stay right there. And
I've driven in California a lot. I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, and it that also pisses me off because I'll okay, yep, I see this. All right, turn signal, I'm coming over, and then whoa, he's right next to me all of a sudden. I'm like, really?
They speed
really,
up.
Dude?
Really,
It's
dude?
just such an
Where
asshole
are we?
thing.
Elementary school? Getting in line for lunch right now? Really? So
They want to get there 10 seconds faster.
Oh my gosh, that pisses me off too. But yeah, no, I completely agree. with people who do not use their turn signals. I as well have gotten like California. You get into you see 3 accidents on the way to work every morning.
Oh, really?
Every morning, about 3+ accidents on the side of the road.
That's crazy.
I would say about once a month you'll see a couple cars flipped over on the road. Once a month.
Flipped over?
Dude, upside down.
Oh God.
And it's
I've seen
because
some.
of
All right.
road rage, no turn signals,
Uh-huh.
stupidity. For some reason, when a raindrop hits your windshield, oh my God! It's nuts how bad people are in California whenever it comes to driving.
I saw that once before. I was driving on the other side of the road. There was a guy driving towards me, and there was a child just off the curb from the footpath. You guys call it a sidewalk. I don't know what the translation for curb is over there. The edge of the sidewalk, and there was a child just there.
Cemented walkway.
And the car on the other side of me came over to my lane to overtake the child, and it was like something out of a movie or something. He just went whoa and drove the yeah, and I was like, what are you doing, dude? There was loads of space, you could fit a bus. The child was nowhere near his car in any way, so he just had to drive straight. It would have been fine, just slow down a bit. But it was nuts. Zips, you were gonna say something?
Oh yeah. Oh, so with how much I drive, I see some pretty crazy stuff happen every once in a while on the road. And I'll mind you this. It snows in Minnesota. So there was one time I was driving down the highway, just driving my own business, and I was in my car, and out of the corner of my eye there was a Ford Explorer, which is an SUV, and all of a sudden, like there wasn't any snow on the road or nothing. He all of a sudden just goes off the highway into the ditch, like starts going up the other bank of the bank, and it's like I'm just watching this happen, and I'm slowing down obviously, but he's going up the bank of the side, coming back down towards the road, and I'm just wide-eyed waiting for like some crashing and stuff to happen in the background. But it was just out of nowhere, yanked the wheel to the right off the road. I'm surprised he didn't flip, but he just
You know what happened?
it was just so abrupt.
You know what happened? Spider.
No.
Spider.
Oh.
Raindrop.
I would probably say a B. But legitimately, it was just instantly bam off the road.
God.
Just what the hell? I've also had probably the scariest time I've ever had driving was when I was going down the road. I was following an SUV. It was a Acura RDX or something like that, and we're going 75 miles per hour down the road. And I was watching the lady in front of me, and I could tell she was distracted driving. She wasn't paying attention. And the car in front of her went off onto the rumple strip, which is the little divots they cut into the side of the road so snowplows know where they are. And the guy in front of her went into the rumple strip. And then I saw her lemming, because if you don't know, when you're driving, you have a tendency to do what the car in front of you does. So if a car in front of you swerves around something, you're probably going to swerve even though there might not be something there. So she then goes onto the rumple strip, scared the junk out of herself, and then proceeds to overcorrect like 4 times. She's up on 2 tires going 70 miles per hour down the road, flipping back and forth on the road, and I'm right behind her, and I'm slowing down as fast as I can. But then she stays on all 4s because the traction control apparently in that car is phenomenal. And she then goes off the road, runs through the ditch, and nails a piece of equipment that does a lot of the weather stats for the highway. And I pulled over and called 911, got everybody involved. But I have never seen a car go back and forth on 2 wheels that many times in a row. I was
going that fast.
Yeah, it didn't go over. Yeah, I was
Bloody hell.
amazed.
Was she okay?
It scared the junk out of me. Yeah, she obviously was she was a little Asian lady, and she got all the airbags went off, the side airbags, the knee airbags, the airbag that smacks her in the face, like all the airbags went off just fine, and she was protected. But she
shock and stuff.
Yeah, she ended up being okay, but shaken up more than anything else.
Yeah. I think we
left from the far right lane. Yeah, I've seen that too.
we talk about traffic a lot in this podcast recently. 3 weeks in a row. Last week it was, or 2 weeks ago it was tailgating. We were talking about tailgating. The biggest pet peeve of mine. Not only do I hate indicators, but I also hate tailgaters. So
I got something for that. So my car has a built-in screw-off light.
Oh, right.
No, it has a built-in screw-off light. So I drive an Audi A8L, and I tried. All right, so this thing is a spaceship. When I bought it, I got into it, and I used to drive a Lincoln MKZ, so it was a decent car. Like MKZ is a very, it's a borderline luxury car, and I got into my Audi, and I was blown away by everything that's going on in this car. So there's an indicator on my car which goes all the way down to turning the lights on. They have auto lights, but all the way flipped over, it's regular lights. You pull out once, it's fog lights, and then you can pull the switch out again, and another light on the dash appears. And I never knew what that light did. Like, I just pulled it on, and I was like, all right, yeah, I got all my fog lights on and stuff, so I guess, there's some light somewhere that's being turned on by this switch. I was sitting in a parking lot messing around with that switch one day, and I actually figured out what it was. I have 2 lights on the back end of my car that are extremely bright red.
Yeah.
So when I pull that out an additional time, those 2 indicator lights on the back end of my car light up. And there's been a few certain times where I've been going down the highway at 70 miles per hour, and I have some jerk off right on my tail. I flip my switch down, I pull out all the way, and 9 times out of 10, they slam on their brakes. And then at some point in time, I usually hit my brakes, and you can see that it's a different set of lights. But that is the best switch ever invented, in my opinion, because it will get anybody that's tailgating you off your rear end.
In China, they actually have a new system. Well, it's not new now, but it was new a few months ago, where they'll take the tailgater. Actually, no, I'm telling a bad story here. They'll take someone who leaves their headlights on when they're coming towards you, put them in front of a truck on a chair, and turn on all the lights in front of them and blind them, just as punishment for leaving their headlights on in the dark when they're driving towards another car. So it's very interesting.
Are you serious?
Yeah, it's a very interesting punishment.
They actually do that.
Yeah.
I had a stupid conversation with a motorcyclist. And any motorcyclists out there, I really hope you're not this stupid. But so I had a conversation one morning with a motorcyclist.
I have 3.
Okay, well, I hope you're not this stupid then, Zip. Okay, so driving to work, okay, and it's like 3:45 in the morning. It's dark, and I'm driving, and it wasn't till about maybe 40 feet away that I saw a motorcyclist in front of me because he had his lights off.
It's illegal.
We get up to the red light, and I stop right next to him, and I roll down my window. I'm trying to be friendly and helpful, and I say, "Hey, your lights are off." He's like, "I know. I'm trying to avoid getting caught by cops if I want to speed."
Oh my god.
Dude,
it's also highly illegal to. You have to have a running light on a motorcycle.
I said, you know what? You're right. You won't get caught by cops. You'll get caught underneath my wheel of my vehicle for doing that.
Or you'll get caught by the cops for not having your fucking lights on.
Yeah. It's illegal not to have your lights on. You have to have a running light.
That is ridiculous. That's probably you should put that on a fucking bumper sticker. I don't have my lights on because I don't want to get caught by the cops.
That blew my mind.
Interesting little tidbit for you guys. In the state of Minnesota, we had a big influx of the Bloods gang. And in the city, at night, in Minnesota, being Minnesota nice, we have our lights on, indicators on all the time. So if somebody doesn't have their lights on, we'll flash them or we'll trigger our lights at somebody.
I know where you're going with this.
And come to find out that these Bloods have been riding around in the town with their lights off. And so basically intentionally, exactly. And so when you flash them, they think that you're going after them or that you're trying to instigate something with them. So they will legitimately just shoot you off the cuff. If you flash them,
I don't think it was
they
thought that they're being chased. I think it was
instigating a deal, is it?
No. It was to get into the gang.
Oh.
It was it was what do they call that?
Initiation.
Initiation. Yep, It was their initiation is to intentionally ride on the street with their lights off, so that somebody would come up there and friendly, hey, turn your lights on, flash them. They would shoot and kill everybody in the vehicle that from the first vehicle that would flash them, and they would kill them, and that's how they got into the gang.
Yeah.
Oh.
So we had that issue running around for a few months up here in Minnesota. I think it's died down now, but it was definitely an issue for a little while.
Holy shit, that's ridiculous.
They told us all the way here in California. They said, hey, for the next 6 months to even a year-ish, don't tell people that their lights are off by flashing them anymore. Don't do that. I know you want to be nice and let them know that, hey, your life is in danger right now, but don't do it.
Bloody hell. I can't believe that story.
Yeah.
It's nuts.
Yeah, so it's good that I have a secondary conference there that I wasn't nuts in that. I suppose you got the information probably through the same channel I did, because we got that through our intel channels, through the military and such.
Yep. They told us as well.
Yeah, the military is very good about keeping track of threats in the areas. We were put on standby many times for stuff like that happened.
Yeah.
Kran's reaction to that. Kran's reaction to what we were just talking about. If they were coming towards you, try flashing a good way away, and if they start shooting, run over them. They're in a car too, Kran. They have a car too.
Yeah.
Zips, there is one question I want to ask you about. It's about yourself. You said you drive 300 miles a day or whatever. And I've heard about you, or you told me yourself, that you have gone all the way to a site once and then came all the way back home and then gone all the way back again, and all that driving, man, that must really kill your energy. But what do you do? What do you do again?
I work as a private contractor for low voltage companies that do vehicular based installations. So my actual title is a mobile geotelecommunications specialist. It's basically a fancy way of saying that if you get a car, say for an F-350 for a landscaping company, I actually did this job yesterday, a vehicle for a landscaping company, what I go and do is I install a tracking unit on that vehicle, so the people that run the industry can see where their assets are at. And then I also install other things like light bars. I install PTO switches, so power takeoff units, so people can get access to a power inverter inside the vehicle, or say like a temperature sensor on the cab of a refrigerator truck, because they want to know if it dips down below a certain temperature. So anything to do with low voltage, 12 volt, 24 volt on, say, construction equipment, any vehicle that's used on the over the road, big rigs, anything like that. I deal with those pretty much every day.
Yeah, it's kind of funny too, because me and Zip recently had a conversation, and I was letting him know how, one of my little things that I did within my job detail was handling all the vehicles, and recently all of our vehicles had telescomatic tracking devices installed in them, and Zip's like, how funny, because I'm one of the guys.
He's the guy who puts them in. Yeah.
I was like, wow, this is such a small world.
And why do you have to travel so much, Zips, for your job? Like, where do you go from to, state-wise, stuff like that? All over?
I run a 6-state region, so North Dakota, South Dakota, Nebraska, Iowa, Michigan, and Wisconsin are my mainstays. A little bit Illinois.
That's like 6 countries, pretty much, that you have to run. Like states and countries very similar in size. So a small country in Europe would be the same as a state in America. So you're pretty much running 6 countries. What the hell?
Yeah. So I'm a level 3 installer, which means that I have pretty much every certification and every ability to install for pretty much any company in the United States, Canada, Europe. I have the ability to go out and troubleshoot and to do the jobs that most other people in my industry can't, because I've received the training and I've gone forth and gotten the paper certificates saying that I'm able to do these things. So that's why I do travel so much, is because I have all those extra little slips of paper that allow me to make those longer trips. normally I would only have a region as big as Minnesota. I can, on any given day, like yesterday, let's put it this way. I started in Minneapolis, Minnesota. I did a job in Eagan, which is about 45 minutes south of me. And then I drove a solid hour and 45 minutes to the west. And then I drove 2.5 hours northeast to the top end of the state. And then I drove approximately another hour, 2.5 hours south to get to another site. And then I drove a half hour home. So
wow. I
spent a lot of time in the windshield. I woke up at 6:30 yesterday, and I didn't get home until approximately 7:30 to 8 is when I got home.
And I'm actually surprised you managed to get home at 8 o'clock, because what is the runtime on those jobs like? Is it an hour job when you get on site, or?
It really depends. It's a per piece basis payment. So when I get to a site, if it's like something like a Chevy 1500, I can knock out a Chevy 1500 in about 10 minutes.
Wow.
But if it's something like, it's a long drive for a very small job.
Yeah.
But I also get paid mileage, and I get paid compensation for every job that I do. So when it really boils down to it, I am making enough doing what I do to where I'm not worried about money.
Yeah, but that's what I'm thinking as well. You're pretty much paid to drive as well. So people do that their whole lives. They drive a taxi, they drive a bus, you're driving and you're doing another job too. So it's crazy.
Yep.
The amount of mileage, but it's your job. That's part of your job.
Yeah. And I kind of bend over backwards for my customers that I get. Yesterday was kind of a specific case to where I did bend over backwards for a customer, because normally we have everybody in a consolidated area where I go and take care of everything at one site. But because the customer requested it, I did an additional approximately 5 hours of travel for him.
So you actually went out your way for him?
It would have been around 2.5 hours of travel. And then because I decided to go over up and above of what is normally called of an installer, I did an additional 1.5 to 2 hours of travel for him.
Wow. Well, that's good. He'll call you again, I suppose, if there's a competition.
Well, yeah, I manage their whole account. Because of the work that I've done for him, I actually have a very, very large deployment coming up of approximately 350 pieces of devices for a large swap over of their units, because they're going from the Android platform to the iOS platform. They want to use Apple products. So I did their initial install, and because I've taken such good care of this customer, they want me to come back and handle their whole deployment of the iOS devices.
Interesting.
So that's going to take about a month and a half to get everything squared away for their second deployment of their devices on theirs.
Interesting.
Darwin, what did I do in the Army? I was a 13 Foxtrot, a fire support specialist, and you can pretty much tack on any certification possible with that. I was a JFO. I was also an electronic warfare I was a counter electronic warfare specialist. I also was a Bradley commander. I was a lead JFO team with a couple different units. I did. I was the UPL, so the piss tester for the unit also, along with a smattering of other things that I have for certifications and abilities for testing out people on Bradleys, being a vehicle crew evaluator, qualifying people through gunnery, doing level 2 and 3 maintenance to the chain gun in the Bradley and the 240 Charlie. Basically, I was an electronics specialist also in the area, so any of the electronics that we use to transmit and receive data and to network with the people that are way higher ranking, I was also a specialist on how to operate all that gear. I was also certified on the Harris radio as another thing that I did, which, if you don't know what the Harris radio is, from where I'm sitting right now, if I really wanted to get a hold of MC over the radio, I could with that Harris radio, because what it does is it uses the stratosphere and bounces the waves across in order to get all the way across the world. So if you had a Harris radio and I had a Harris radio, we could talk to each other just like we're talking right now.
Bloody hell.
Just with a radio that's about that big and about that thick.
Is it true, if you're allowed to answer this, that the army and the military have technology that's 10, 15 years more than what we have right now?
Yes.
Because that's what they were talking about 10, 15 years ago. They had this technology, which is crazy.
We've had the ability to do things that most of the civilians have never been able to do because of the capabilities and the research that goes in through the military. As far as technology, the furtherment of technology, the military has kind of always been on the cutting edge of what we've had available to us. I mean, I'm sure, Fuzzles, you can agree with this. Like, there's always the toys that you get in the military, which are years out from being available to the civilian public. But also in the same instance, there's a lot of technology now, specifically that the private sector has, that the military doesn't necessarily have access to. For instance, cell phones have come so far in such a short amount of time that the military hasn't really caught up on that avenue of technology.
That is that's crazy.
Some aspects of the military you'll have advanced technology. Some you'll have like, why are we still using this? This is so stupid. Like that's more often the situation. But yeah, no, it's both yes and no. Yes
okay,
and no.
so
two things in particular that'll relay to this. The military has had the capability of a VDL, which is a video downlink. It's a little handheld guy that's about the size of your iPhone, and what that's able to do is to capture images from a drone. So you got a Predator or a Reaper sitting up at a mile in the sky, looking at something in particular. We have the capability of then looking at this little piece of technology on a certain frequency with the certain encryptions to be able to see the screen of what that drone is specifically looking at to do target recognition and whatever we need to do with that image to do monitoring of a certain area. Now, in the same instance, there's also, Fuzzles, you might have a little more experience with this. There is the calculators which are used for snipers to calculate the telemetry there at the atmospheric conditions, the humidity, and all the data that is given to us from certain weather and whatnot to be able to take a sniper shot the most accurate first time round. This technology hasn't existed say 5 years ago. This is up and coming, that doesn't exist in the private sector as much, and it has existed in the military for a long time. But in the same instance, as I said, something like a cell phone. Cell phones are very secure. They're hard to jam. They're very lightweight, and they run over a cellular network. But at the same time, we use radios that are from the 80s to communicate with each other, and they consistently have problems.
That's very interesting. It's like Foundation. You have a foundation of such great foundation of shite, and then you're putting all this cool stuff on top of it, just like Twitch, actually.
Yeah.
I think.
Well, go ahead.
I was gonna say more. I mean, in my specific situations, I think what they've done is they have probably been introduced a lot of this technology, and it's more often than not, it's waved away because it's either way too expensive for this specific installation, and this installation might not even be here in the next year. So why spend this much money installing and using this technology here and now? And two, well, we're still using this because it's reliable, and that's why we're not going away from it. And those are like the two biggest things that outweigh a lot of why we still maintain and use what we use.
It's like the Nintendo Entertainment System never breaks. PlayStation 3, I've gone through 3 of them already. It's just Cran said the same thing. It's easy to take down or interrupt. What is it? You're able to cellular networks, but you can't take down radio waves as easy. So,
MC, you ever use a sound powered telephone? No, that's still what our military uses.
Oh God.
Yep.
Yeah.
So it has to detect sound first, is it?
It's
for an
like,
instance, yeah. That's one of the ways. That's one of the communications we have.
Kid and tying two cups connect to each other by a string.
Oh
that's
my God.
what we use in our military.
Sometimes, yeah, like that's we've gone away from that very much. But we still do use the 2 cups tied together, kind of instance there.
Oh, God.
That's what I'm saying. Like,
Well,
but
it's
you got to
reliable,
remember,
so we're not gonna.
it is reliable. It's not jammable. It's not the only way that you're gonna be able to get rid of that communication is if you cut the wire and or if you tap into it. Now, security of that wire is hopefully going to be as secure as it gets, but
Yeah.
you got the nail on the head there. It's something that we've had for so many years, and it's always worked, and it will never fail. Never fail is the key words.
And another big thing is, like you said, security and IED bombs. You can't trigger a bomb with a sound-powered telephone. So that's another reason that we stick to sound-powered telephones.
Very interesting, actually.
So, a little bit, I'll bring this up to speed for a little bit for you guys. I am a counter electronic warfare specialist, or was. Basically meaning that I went to class for a few weeks down in Arizona, in the armpit of Arizona, about a stone's throw away from the Mexican border. And I studied about electronic warfare and all the capabilities of cell phones, which scare the shit out of me, by the way. Excuse my language, but it scares me to know what the capabilities of cell phones are. But at the same time, I have the training and ability to know that the technology that we have in the military is very good and we can keep ourselves safe from that. Now, there's 3 types of IEDs that are mainly used. There is your...
Before you go any further, MC, you know what we're talking about when we say IED, right?
Yeah, it's an explosive, yeah?
Yeah.
Okay.
So, there's your radio-controlled IEDs, which are detonated by a remote of some sort, electronically. You have your triggered, which means that basically there's some dude sitting there waiting to press the button, and then there's time. So there's those 3 different types of IEDs. The 2 that you can't really defeat are the time and the operator detonated, which basically you got a Humvee driving down the road, and then you run over something like a crush wire, which is basically a circuit that has 2 contacts that touch together and then detonate the IED. Or you have the time, which basically is just like a bomb with a fuse, and you hopefully get that correct. And then there is the detonated by remote. So you have somebody that's either sitting up in a hill with a cell phone, and then what they do is they dial down that number that the cell phone is attached to that completes the circuit and then blows the IED up. Now, we have the countermeasure with electronic warfare to where we can defeat that 3rd type. You can't defeat the other 2. You can defeat the 3rd type. Now, the operator detonated, there's a couple ways that we try to defeat those, which are really cool. There's a grappler, which basically it's a ground pounder. It goes very slow across the ground, and it has a little it has a forks on the front of it, or it has a chain that oscillates and rotates, and it just beats the ground to try to detonate any bombs in its path. And then there's also the RFID, which is a little heat-controlled sensor that sits out in front of the Humvee on a little stick,
and it blows it up before the Humvee gets on top of it.
It blows it up, exactly.
Wow.
So there's a lot of really cool stuff that we've got to try to keep ourselves alive. And we have an empty chair. Chair stream.
Fuzzles is going for the what's it called? What's that biker called?
America.
Yeah, the America look. This is the military podcast, guys. We are talking all things military and all things guns. Actually, you know what? The chat is loving this. A lot of people are saying I'm really interested in what we're talking about. So this is cool. This is really cool to learn about, especially with all the things that are happening recently. You heard about the Manchester thing and stuff like that, and
Manchester,
England are on high alert at the moment, and so are France and Germany. So it's really interesting to know how these attacks are being tackled. I have another question from the chat, and that is from Joanna. She says, MC Fossils and Zips, if you could do any job you want in brackets without worrying about the qualification for it, end bracket, what would you do and why? Now, keep it on military team, I suppose, guys. A little bit if you can. Don't be a streamer. Be a freaking badass, especially Fossils with the glasses. You'd be a glasses salesman.
Okay. Yeah, I know exactly what I'd want to do.
What would you like to do?
So, with my job that I had, I was the 13 Foxtrots Fire Sports Specialist. we controlled everything with the field artillery. So when it really boils down to what I did is I took a piece of artillery that was possibly miles away, and it would shoot and put the bomb exactly where I tell it to put it. So that was what my job was. And I also was supposed to observe the field, advise the commander on troop movements. Like, the job that I had in the military was extremely important. There was a time during the push into Iraq where if they caught somebody that was a 13 Foxtrot, we had a bounty on our heads of over $100,000 a piece. So there was people actively looking for us because we'd go up in the mountains and hide and be watching the battlefield. And if they figured out where we were through either radio countermeasures of where they had a signal detector to where they could see kind of where we were coming from, it really is like one of those things where the job that we had was extremely important. Now, the job that I would like to have in the military, if I ever did get back in, is a JTAC. A JTAC is a part of the Air Force that expands upon the job that I already have. They're not as much as big into the artillery side of things, but they can also control the artillery. What they do is they are essentially a battlefield aircraft controller. So you have those amazing, phenomenal aircrafts called the Warthog, with a 30 millimeter cannon on I shouldn't say cannon, it's a gun. But they have that 30 millimeter cannon going across, and I'm sure you guys have ever seen a meme where you say "How's your day?" Better. I'll have to pull up a meme for you guys on that. But the JTAC, yeah, the A10, and like these guys insert into an area. They have the sweetest technology. They have the really, really cool stuff, and they are able to manage the airspace. They're able to manage the ground. They do basically the same exact job that I do, only to a higher degree. Now, as a JFO, which is a Joint Forward Observer, I was also able to do a lot of the job that a JTAC does, but I just didn't have the clarification to clear a plane to go hot. So basically, essentially to say, yes, you can shoot at this target. Now, there's two different sections of airspace, which means that there's the Air Force, then there's the Marines, and then there's the Army. Now, the Army and the Marines a lot of times have something called a FAC-A, which is a person in that plane that can clear themselves hot, and they take the responsibility for those rounds going to the ground. But if you're releasing something like a 500 to 1,000 to a 2,000 pound bomb off of a plane, GBU 31, 36, to get that ammunition to be dropped from the plane, you most times need a JTAC involved. So that would be kind of the job that I would really like to have if I ever did ever get back into the military.
Awesome. I'm going to make a simple one because I've never been in the military, and that's because Ireland doesn't have a military that is active. We're a neutral country, and I've always wanted to be a sniper. I always wanted to be in a sniper team, so that would be my thing, because I always loved what is it? We used to go out to, not to hunt. We were only doing like clay pigeon and stuff like that, but it was at as high a distance as possible and shoot basic rifles, sniper rifles. So it was really, really fun, and I always thought that I had a good shot. I bet you any money if I go to Fuzzles and he teaches me, I'm not gonna be saying I have a good shot anymore. But for an Irish lad, I had a good enough shot in my opinion. So I would always love to do sniping. Or one thing I always love is survival as well. So one thing as snipers I know have to do is they have to go away for a long time, and they literally live in the middle of nowhere, off the land and stuff like that. So that'd be part of the adventure for me. I'd love to do something like that. But a real answer from Fuzzles, what would you like to do if you were back in the military?
I would not mind at all doing what I do now right now for them.
That's a very good job, actually. Yeah.
So what I do is or what I've done for 2 years was a weapons instructor. So basically, I taught a lot of military that were proficient and were really good at shooting. I turned around and taught them, I kind of perfected their platform and fundamentals and employing their weapons, and then I taught them how to teach. So they could go back to the fleet and go back out and teach the rest of the military basics and safety and how to be awesome. So I was an instructor's instructor. I was teaching instructors how to teach small arms weaponry, so shotguns, rifles, and pistols. But I think I'd want to take that a step further. I don't want simply to be just the instructor anymore, because a lot of the course curriculum that we teach is actually very, very, very poorly written, and for some reason the people who wrote the curriculum for me to deliver, they don't want to hear anything about what we have to say as the instructors as to why this is either outdated or wrong. And I would want to be a little step further into actually designing the curriculum and making it way, 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 way better. It's a little ridiculous into what we used to teach. But now what I teach now and what I've been teaching for the last year is I don't make instructors anymore. I now teach people how to be more tactical with their guns. So we talk about room entries, teamwork, communication, up and down. How to now save your own life in an actual tactical situation, basically, is what we talk about now.
And the reason why you took that job, the one that you're doing now,
for the hours,
was for the hours, for the stream. You actually
Only
sacrificed all that for your stream, which is shows dedication.
Yeah.
And you're giving up the whole thing for your stream as well, which is even more dedication. It's crazier.
Yeah.
So little caveat to you, MC. So in the component of how a unit is set up, there is the main armament, main movement, which is all your squads and your platoons, and then there is the battery assets, which are the sniper teams, the scouts, and the fisters. I was a fister, which is also what's known as a forward observer. So a lot of times I'm out in the field working hand in hand with sniper teams, and I received a lot of sniper team training because I would have to go up on the hill with them and hang out with them. So the job that I had essentially was a lot like what you were describing, aside from instead of shooting really small bullets in just really small areas, I was shooting really big bullets into larger areas.
Pretty much the batteries, all the battering an enemy, pretty much, right?
Yeah. Yep. So what we would do, smoke screens, we would deploy into an area. We'd soften the enemy. So we'd do a pre-deployment of ammunitions and rounds into an area in order to soften a target, in order to have the main movement go in to achieve the effort per se. So it's a lot of wargaming, and snipers were definitely, they were some of the most fun people to train with when we would go and do cross training with them, so they could see what we do and they see what do that training back and forth.
That's really
with each
cool.
other.
And what did the scouts do then? Because you said that there are 3 different things. What did the scouts do?
Scouts are like the same thing that I do, only less cool. They're main job to do is to literally do what they say they are. They are a scout. They go forward of the front lines and technically go forward even of the fisters and the snipers and survey an area to detect and see what's going on before the fisters get up into their OP or the snipers get into their sniping point overwatching on an objective. The scouts would go in and take a look at the area first to see what's going on with it.
Interesting. Bloody hell. I think we learned so much about the American military and army and navy in one session.
Why would they call them fisters? The reason we're called fisters is because the fist has the 5 train features that are the main ones. Hidden Valley salad dressing, Hidden Valley ranch salad dressing are the 5 main features. So a lot of times the nickname would come up about fister. So you got hill, salad, or saddle, valley, depression, and ridge are the 5 main train features. And also because the main logo that a fister has is a fist holding a lightning bolt. So there's a couple of the really cool things there. MH60, nice.
Awesome.
We did deal with the MH60s a little bit. A lot of times those guys are the SF. So SF a lot of time was taking out the MH60s, even though I did the main aircraft I dealt with was the Apaches. So, but the MH-60s were, pretty cool. Or yeah, UH-60 to MH-60. So if you don't know what a UH-60 is, that's a Black Hawk. The MH-60 is the specialized version of that, which has missiles and guns on it.
Yeah, we have some really cool people in this community who deal with jets and Black Hawks, and it's really interesting talking to them during stream about that. Before we do anything else, though, Fuzzles, are you going streaming?
Yes.
Yeah. So do you want to go get ready and we give you a raid afterwards?
Yes.
Perfect. You go.
I'm gonna leave you guys. I'm gonna leave you guys with something. So I said this yesterday in my stream, so I apologize if any of you guys are here. I'm gonna say it again because I thought this is a very clever little story with a great morale behind it. So I apologize if some of you guys heard this. So I'm gonna tell you guys a story about a birdie and poop. Okay, so all right, here's what I want you guys to picture in your heads. Okay, picture this in your heads, right? Little birdie. Okay, little birdie, and he left a little late for winter. All right, so he's got to fly south for the winter. He left a little late though, so as he's flying high in the sky, he freezes midair. Okay, falls to the ground, lands in a field. All right, he's frozen solid. Cow walks over to this frozen bird, shits on him. To help him out, he's thawing him. Right, he thaws him. Okay. It worked. The bird dethaws, starts chirping. Okay? Picturing this? Tracking? Okay. Stand by. Cat hears the chirping. Cat comes by to investigate. Sees the bird, eats the bird. Moral of the story is, not everyone who shits on you is your enemy. Not everyone who pulls you out of shit is your friend. And if you're in deep shit, keep your mouth shut. On that note, I'm out.
That's pretty good.
Did you learn that in the Navy SEALs or something? If you're in deep shit.
Oh man.
Oh god. Oh yeah,
So
actually,
I'm gonna bring this.
before we do this. While Fuzzles is signing off, guys, that was Fuzzles Bigfoot, co-host of Hidden Level podcast, co-owner of Hidden Level, and much love and peace out, Fuzzles.
Much love and peace out.
I kind of awkwardly was just allowing Fuzzles to just slowly move away from the stream. I forgot that we were in a professional environment, and I actually had to give him an outro. That's kind of hilarious. So
I was gonna bring this up earlier. So I made this mention earlier that last night when I was I do mod for a couple booby streamers. I do.
Yes.
But they produce very, very good content. Oh, why am I on the screen twice?
Yeah,
That's
so
weird.
when Fuzzles jumps off, it's going to give you full screen. So you can either lean over a tiny bit and go into his chat thing, or just stay anywhere at all. It doesn't really matter.
It's good. I'll scooch over here. What I was saying is last night when I was looking for somebody else that I was going to host and possibly, pay attention to, because I was looking for some stats on my stream or something, I ran across a female stream who is featured on the page, and she is a booby streamer, but I'll tell you what, I was sitting there for like 5 minutes and I was just staring at her. I was like, I couldn't peel away from it. I couldn't. It was just I was so entranced by what she was doing, because she's a body painter.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sure you guys can find this. She might be featured today too, but it was just, I couldn't believe it. I was just sitting there just staring. Any beard grooming tips, Steve? I do. First off, I do think that you do need a good beard oil. So if you're trying to grow, all right, so there's two different things that you got to realize here. One, you're either trying to grow a beard or you're trying to keep the beard that you already have. So with the instance of taking care of your beard, you need to have a good oil to rub into it to give a lot of the nourishment back into the hair. Like, you shampoo your hair every day, and that takes care of your scalp and it takes care of the hair, but your beard hair is a hair different than your normal hair on the top of your head. It's normally a little more coarse. It's a little more thick. So you got to have something that'll soften it up to get it to be strong and resilient. Actually, MC, if you would have seen me yesterday, I had my beard was about twice the size as it is now, as far as on the sides. I trimmed it down a little bit and to get it to shape a little bit nicer. So yeah, it was pretty stinking big.
Bloody hell! You got shaved up for the stream, for the podcast.
Sure, let's say that's what I did.
Oh gosh!
For the majority of it, I mainly did it because my hair was getting a little bit squirrely, so I had to get it trimmed up.
It's the podcast absolutely flew today. Did you find that? Well, actually, the whole day flew. Did you have a busy day today?
I basically woke up just to do this.
Oh, really? Oh, thanks for doing that, dude.
Oh no, like I was awake. I was doing some stuff. Let's go into my own screen here.
Yeah, go on.
Yeah, when I was I woke up and I was getting ready, just basically getting ready to do this. I was doing some computer maintenance. Oh, did I tell you my secondary hard drive went down?
Oh, really?
Yeah, my gaming hard drive.
Was it backed up?
So, no.
Oh.
Well, it's just my games. It's not anything critical.
Oh, okay.
So, I then went and I cracked my computer open and realized how many cords that I have inside of it because I had forgotten. There's a lot.
Mm-hmm.
And turns out that my port for the hard drive input went down.
Okay.
So I have 8 hard drive inputs on this motherboard, and so I basically just switched it to another one, but it took me a bit to figure out that port was dead, and it worked out. It worked out to where I salvaged my secondary hard drive, which is my 2 terabyte Seagate Black, which I don't know if you know much about hard drives, but the Seagate Black is it's a fairly expensive hard drive, and it's known for its reliability.
For its reliability, oh god.
Yes, it's known for being one of the most reliable hard drives on the market. So I was very surprised when I saw it disappear on me the other day.
It's interesting how that was the one that ended up going out on you, and the other ones didn't.
Yeah.
You have an SSD, right?
Yeah, I have an SSD. I have a 250 gig SSD inside my computer from Samsung.
Yeah.
And that I have basically just the quick load data of what I want to use on a day-to-day basis. So if I'm doing some graphics editing or something like that, I'll normally save it into the SSD because I want to pull it up a little faster than other programs.
I always say to people not to put your games into your SSD. Always use that as your pretty much your processes and anything that you need to work really quickly. It's like plugging a headset into a 3.0 USB. It just wastes the use of the item. Yeah.
I only have on this computer setup. I only have actually 2 2.0 USB inputs.
Yeah, I've 2 3.0. They actually cause a lot of trouble, believe it or not, because I was using my external hard drive on a 3.0, and it kept crashing in the middle of transfers, and then I used it on a 2.0 and it worked fine. So the 3.0 sometimes can be a little bit too fast for your hardware.
What do you have plugged into it?
External hard drive. I was transferring files from one to the other.
What kind of external hard drive? Because most of them nowadays are 3.0 compatible.
Well, I suppose it's maybe that was the problem. Maybe it wasn't compatible. It's a Samsung. I don't remember the model though.
When you got your hard drive, if you looked at your USB cord that they gave you, well, first, actually, I can tell you right now if it's a USB 3.0 or not. What does the other end of it look like? Does this look like a standard? Let's see if I have one around here.
It's kind of like a micro, not a micro USB, just one step up from a micro USB.
Is it flat?
No, it's kind of like a hooked.
Does it look like this?
No.
If it doesn't look like that, then it's not 3.0.
So that was my problem. No wonder.
Yeah. So, yeah, if it doesn't have that little plug on it, and then the other end of your cable, if you know the other way that you'll know
Blue.
is it's got to be blue. So that's the two ways that you're going to know that it's a USB 3.0 capable.
Wait a minute now.
Is
So
because it has that.
what about like keyboards and stuff? Are they all 3.0 capable or no? They have to
Yeah,
be
you can
blue
most
then.
times plug them in. You can most times plug them into a 3.0 and have no issue with them.
Okay. I didn't know that. I didn't know that the hard drives needed the other end to be flathead.
The hard drive, yeah, the hard drive is like the only one that's really finicky about your 2.0 versus 3.0 because your data transfer speeds. If you're trying to shove a 3.0 into a 2.0, it's different than plugging a 2.0 into a like an input, an input versus an output.
Yeah.
So your data transfers when you're doing an input versus output, it changes based on your drivers and what you have going on with that whole situation.
Okay, perfect. I didn't realize that.
Thanks for saying that I'm smart, Joe, and I see you change your name color.
You've actually had a lot of people complimenting you on this podcast. Darwin says that where is his message? He says, well, I can't see his message, but he said, oh, there he is. At Zipspence, I'm so happy you were on today. He's really interested in what you had to say about music and your job. So it's like perfect for Darwin, and a lot of other people have said how good of a guest you have been. So thank you very much, pretty much, for being here today.
Oh, no problem. It was my pleasure being here. I do watch the podcast whenever I get time to tune in. I also watch the VODs most times too.
In your busy schedule?
Yeah, computer science. Yeah, with my busy schedule, a lot of times when I'm driving in the car, I'll put on one of your VODs and just listen in to what you had going on. So it's definitely something that I enjoy while I'm driving in the car, because a lot of the topics that come up on the podcast are something that I normally wouldn't in an everyday situation pull up.
And it was great to have your opinion on all these different topics. Very sharp answers to the topics. When it comes to the podcast, however, we are 1 minute and 18 seconds away from finishing up. So what we're going to do, guys, is we're going to raid Fuzzles as usual, and we're going to host him as usual. I want you to go over to his channel. I'll give you a link in a second, and I want you to say, wait there until I say Unleash the Flood as usual. When I say Unleash the Flood, I want you to post this message in in Fuzzles chat. If you're not a sub of this channel, and if you're a sub of this channel, I'll post this message in that person's chat. I'll wait for the delay. So, and on our closing stages, guys, you know where I am. I'm mcgames.net on everything. So you can find me here, you can find me on Twitter, you can find me on YouTube, all the same. However, Zips, plug yourself. Where can we find you? And we gave you a shout out in the chat, but where's your Twitter? Where's your YouTube at?
So you can find me, if you're looking for my Twitter, you type in Zipspence6. You can find me at that on Twitter. I tweet out stuff about the stream most times, or just type in Zipspence and you'll be able to find me on there. As far as my channel goes, just twitch.tv/Zipspence. Make it really nice and easy. And then I have a couple other social media deals that I'm working on right now, getting started. But I also have my Discord set up. I have all sorts of other streaming things coming up in the near future that hopefully I'll get the next level of Twitch involvement here after I secure my next stream. But thank you for that follow, Joe. I see that you popped in there. But it's one of those things where I'm getting back on the horse here, and I'm really getting into being part of the communities again. I took a little small break, and now I'm back at it again. So
awesome.
Thank you so much for having me, MC. It was a lot of fun talking on the podcast. I enjoyed having the ability to have some input into the situation.
As I said, you're very welcome. You had very sharp answers to a lot of topics that I was interested in hearing your answers to. So, and I learned a lot as well, which is brilliant as well. One last question for you, actually. We're going to delay this by 1 more minute. Where did you get your name?
It's a high school nickname. It's actually two things put together. I used to play lacrosse in high school. It used to be where I would run around the field and I would kind of be a tool bag about how I would go about the field. And they used to say I was really, very suspenseful, but I was also very quick.
Yeah.
So they would call me, I would zip around the field like nothing else. And then it just kind of transformed where some dude said, so he zips around and he's so suspenseful. It's like Zipspence almost. And then it just kind of stuck from there.
That is an awesome answer to that question. I didn't even think of it. I was always wondering why you called yourself Zipspence. Anyway, guys, this is time to sign out. Let's get over to Fuzzles. We'll stay on the screen until we've actually started the raid. Then we'll come off the screen. But yeah, man, that's fucking hilarious. And what made you use that as your Twitch then? Just because it was your nickname?
I had that email when I was in high school, and then it just kind of stuck past there because it's easy, it's unique, nobody else has it, and it's not like you've got a very intricate name, and it's not like somebody that's it's not like somebody saying my name on Twitch is Ben Ben M. Like that'd just be boring. So it's something intricate. It's something intricate. It's got a nice length to it, and
perfect
it's
length.
And
it
got
has
a
a
good
nickname,
intricate.
which is the most important
Exactly.
thing.
Zip.
Yeah. It's the most important part
You don't have
of
to
any main name.
say the big thing all the time. Yeah, like MC. You can call yourself MC all the time.
Yes.
Makes it easy.
Sometimes I forget that there is the rest of the name, and when I hear MC Games, it's
Exactly.
kind of weird. And then when I hear MC Games.net, I'm like, okay, this person doesn't know me at all. If let's get to know this person. So we're gonna hit the raid button in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Unleash the flood over there, guys. Thank you very much for hanging out with us today. It is time to end the podcast. Much love and peace out. Do you know the much love and peace out, Zips?
Yeah.
Go for it. Do a much love and peace out.
What?
Much love and peace out.
Oh no, that's you. That's your sign off.
See you later, guys. Bye bye.
That's all you.
Take care.